Welcome to Van Tate's Sports Office, an in-depth look at the world of sports, featuring exclusive interviews with our KRQE News Sports Director, Van Tate, sponsored by Caesars Sportsbook at Route 66 Casino.
Sports Office talking boxing, former WBC super welterweight interim champion Brian Mendoza. And Brian, it's nice to see you in person instead of on the phone, on Zoom, whatever, how we usually do it. Thank you for coming.
No, absolutely, man. Pleasure to be here. You know, the new big studio, I'll set up, everything nice. And, yeah, man, no more just propping up my phone for a quick Zoom interview and stuff, man. So I finally made it happen, bro. Glad to be here.
Man, now, as far as staying busy and stuff like that, you try to keep it going all year, right? Because you want to be ready so you can jump on any opportunity. Because I know, like, you've had some of those fights where you came in last minute and did some good things.
Yeah, my career's built off that, man. Like, literally – it all started when I fought Jason Rosario, a former unified champion, and I fought him on 10 days' notice. And then, these other fights, it's always been 2 weeks or this or that. But, us from New Mexico, man, we're built different. We take these opportunities, and there's a reason I'm a year-round fighter. You've known me since the amateurs.
Yeah.
And I'm always training, so, why not? We stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That old cliche, but we live it.
And as far as getting back to that championship, people have seen your work now. It's going to probably be a little bit harder to get back to a championship fight, right? Because people are like, oh, Brian Mendoza, oh, no, I don't know about him, right?
Yeah, we definitely lost the element of surprise. I can tell you that much, so a lot of things, it has made some things tougher. The risk-reward ratio to fight me right now isn't too preferable for some of the opponents. But, we're going to make it happen. I was really hoping to get back in the ring, this past weekend, or this coming weekend, actually. And that's the thing. We just need to get back in that win column. And then I have a great team behind me, so they'll be making these fights happen. I just need to get back in there.
Sebastian Fundoro, he remembers you, doesn't he?
Yes, sir. Yes, he does. He doesn't mention my name too much, but he remembers.
Yeah, when you took his title, I mean, that was a surprise to people who don't know you. But we know you and we know how hard you punch, and we're just sir. Like, man, if he gets in there, that guy's he's gonna feel it. But didn't know what was gonna happen. But you took it a step further and just put the guy out.
Yeah. We made it happen, and even in my that post-fight interview, man, that was for people like you, because I said there was a lot of doubters in that fight, but I'm not a guy that, this was to prove everybody wrong. This was not. It was to prove my supporters right. That's all I care about, man. I focus on my people, and you've always shown love. A lot of New Mexico has always shown love, so I focus on that, and I showed them how we do it, man. We just went in there, showed out. And we make those things happen, man. But it was definitely, for my supporters, for the few people that did know, it was for them.
So, let's go back to that night. He falls down, boom, just like a cartoon. And were you going like, what, man? This fight's over. I mean, what were you thinking?
There were so many things going through my head, man. But when I caught him with that first big shot, that buckled him, kind of left him frozen. It really felt like a video game. Like, everything you think that it felt like it did. It, like, real life.
It looked like a video game.
Yeah, as unrealistic, as it looked. Just like I felt like that shining moment. And I had seen him take a knee against other guys when he got hurt, and he comes back and pummels them. So that's why you saw that instant reaction of, like, boom, I step back, I see him hurt. I was like, you're not taking a knee with me. So I jumped in to end it, and that was that.
Yeah, man, but you were just putting some shots on him, man. I mean, like, I was just like watching it like this. I mean, you were hitting him hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, we had, because he was trying to hit me, with a million shots. He's just that nonstop type of pressure guy, and super awkward. Obviously, he's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
And just there's so many weird attributes, so it was definitely weird, fighting a guy like that. But I felt like I had been prepping for that since here in New Mexico. I got a lot of work with Tim Means back in the day, and he's also a tall, lanky southpaw that comes forward. Like, he can bang. He's a MMA fighter. He's been in the UFC for, like, I think he's got one of the longest resumes. But I felt like he got me ready for that.
All the time.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And I felt like the universe was lining this up all this time, because when they told me I was fighting a tall lefty that comes forward, I was like, he's not meaner than Tim. I know that. So he comes in, man. We had all that work over the years, and I felt like I already had that in the bank, So
right.
I got to pull that out the toolbox.
What is speaking of the toolbox? What are you putting in there now? Because I know last time I talked to you, you were saying like you're doing some things different and working on some stuff.
Yeah, I have a new team now. I work with Rich Barrientos and Bob Santos. Bob Santos won the Trainer of the Year, I believe, last year. I think 2024, maybe 2023, one of those. But just top of the line trainers and stuff, and the team, and they're real focused on I still don't want to spoil too much, but I can definitely say, we're not wasting as much energy, because I like to move, I get real slick. The Cuban in me comes out a little bit, but we still, just tightening things up, and then using more of my power. Not that we're relying on it, intelligently, but it's just kind of tweaking things here and there, kind of get back to it, locking back in on certain things. And I have a lot to show. And, like I said, I was really hoping to put that on showcase, coming up. But whenever we get that fight, all this means is, I get more time. You've always known me. I'm a very positive person. Yeah. And I booked my flight, I moved it up. So I'm going right back to Vegas to get back to training camp. And it's on to the next, man. We just get more time to improve.
Do you know what might be coming up, or do you have any idea what might be coming your way? Or
nothing solid, that I could say there's this date coming up. But PBC has several shows coming up. I know Caleb Plant has a card in May, and I might be able to jump on that. We have the same management team and everything, and I'm real tied in with PBC and stuff, and Luis de Cubas Jr. So I have a solid team, very solid team behind me. So as far as, a date coming up, I'm not worried about it. That's why you surround yourself with the right people. But, man, all I need is the opportunity, me. So we're going to stay ready and everything. And as soon as something solid pops up, something real, something good to get back in there with, we're on it.
You always standing on business, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The conversation is just getting started. We have more on the other side.
People who may have followed your career, we're usually just talking about nuts and bolts of your fighting this guy and what do you have to do to win and all that stuff. But we've never dug in and asked you when did you start boxing?
I started boxing pretty late, actually, relatively. I started about 15, 16, and most fighters you can start fighting as an amateur at about 8. But even some people, as soon as they're walking, they're starting, hitting the bags and stuff. They got their family pressing them, pushing them. I've seen 5, 6-year-olds in the gym, man. So it's definitely, a long road and everything. But I always said once I started out that I don't have the experience that these guys have, but I'm going to work harder. Yeah. And that's kind of what you've seen over the years, because Brian's always in the gym. I was I had to be I had to play catch up. And then once I caught up, I had to play keep up. And then I was now you got to catch up. I'm going to just keep working and working and working. Yeah. And the work ethic more than anything is what got me here, because I didn't have, that natural talent where it was just, day one, just figured it out.
You've always had
the power's always been there. Yeah, it was just, I just had to figure out how to land it right, not, just swinging for the fences every fight.
Right. And speaking of swinging for the fences, man, you can, that's a bad strategy. You could fight yourself out of a fight. Doing that, right? I mean,
absolutely.
You have to stick to your strategy, or because I've seen it happen to multiple fighters where they get in there and start brawling, and it's all right, man, you could get caught like that.
Yeah, it is what it is, and then it's a time and a place for everything, man. Sometimes, I've been watching some fights recently where I see a guy, very slick boxers, very very talented, very smart. It's they think it's sweet, I'll put it like that. And then there comes that pressure fighter where you don't get to be slick. Even Mayweather, when he fought Maidana, when he fought Jose Luis Castillo, this masterful boxer, greatest of all time type of people, you can't box everybody. So sometimes you really just got to, just
slug it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you got to fight your way through the fire, fight fire with fire. For anybody in whatever career, it's going to come to that point at some time. And, for me, I've been there, but the thing is to know when and where, because if you're one of those guys that just tries to just bang it out every fight, there's going to be fights where, you get outboxed or you gas out because you're swinging, for the fences the whole fight. Yeah. There's, like I said, there's a time and a place, and that's what I've kind of locked in over the years, because even through the amateurs, you start knocking people out, and you get a little carried away with this. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna knock everybody out. It's so easy.
Yeah, well,
So.
Well, you start swinging for the fences too early. I bet gassing out, that has to be a bad feeling, man. It's like, I got nothing.
Oh man, yeah, it's a scary feeling, man. And I've even felt that in certain fights, where like maybe I was sick before the fight or something, and I've actually asked my coach, I was like, what round is it? It's like, oh, it's like 3 going on 4, and I got 10, 12 to go. So I'm like, all right, man, let's buckle up, let's go, let's figure it out. And it's definitely a crazy feeling, but
you kind of had to fight smart then, huh? Like maybe, hey, let's dance a while,
right?
Wrap up a little bit, or
that's the thing, and that's why, like how I said earlier, it's time and a place for everything, man. Like you got to know when to box, when to maybe move a little bit, I think boxing, and I'm thankful for boxing in a big way to show me a poker face. I believe I have a real good poker face because I don't care if you catch me. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm feeling great. You're not going to know. I have just that stone face, like even in sparring or in fights, either one, like there's those fighters that talk a lot. They'll try to talk and kind of get in your head. I don't even talk back. I just stay locked in. Just boom, I'm coming, I'm working. And that's the thing, man. You're not going to know what's going on in my head. I'm not showing it. I don't care if it's, even if I feel great, I'm not going to be like overly smiling or something. I'm just locked in. I can't let you know what I'm holding.
You gotta get one of those fighters to come to altitude come fight you in Albuquerque where you can mess with their heads saying,
yeah,
man, aren't you tired? Because of the air here.
Yeah. And I've been living in Vegas for about 6 years, so I had to get acclimated myself to make sure I'm not going to get tired in my own hometown, man. So we're out here, and
that's real stuff, isn't it?
Exactly. So I was over there at Mount Charleston, running at minimum 7,000 feet elevation. Oh, wow. That way we could come here and get used to it. Yeah, a lot of people don't know we got the mountains out there like that, but we definitely had to, man. You're crazy if you think I'm gonna come to Albuquerque and get tired in my own hometown.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. You can't rap like that.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So we got to put on the right way. So make sure I get acclimated, and then I'll definitely come to Albuquerque at least a week early, a week or two, so get acclimated. Because still, I was born and raised here. I was here for 25 years of my life, so I'm pretty sure I always got that in the bag.
Well, growing up, speaking of being here for your life, Rio Rancho, like we talked about you starting when you late bloomer, late started in boxing. What other sports did you play? Rio Rancho, man, you guys were winning championships back when you were in school. Yeah, and did you play any other sports or just focus on boxing?
The only official school sport I kind of played a little bit was track. I ran track for 2 years, and looking back, I don't know why I did that. But the first year, it was fun.
What do you mean? You don't know why you did it, man?
Man, boxing's taught me one thing, is to hate running, man. I'm constantly going, running all these just miles. And then now, I look at running as a workout, that. But all respect to you guys that can really, get it in track like that. Because,
what was your event?
I was usually I did 2 events, but both of them were about the 400s. Oh, and wow. That's when I learned about what pacing means. Because my very first meet ever was, I think, 7th grade. And we went to, Grants, I believe. Man, the line started, we went off. I was in first place by, 100 yards. Oh, killing everybody because I took off like a bullet. And then as soon as I start gassing a little bit, I see people.
Got that curve.
Passing me, start hitting me.
Hit that curve.
Exactly, yeah. And then, I was in the stands for probably another 20, 30 minutes, still couldn't catch my breath. But actually, I redeemed myself that same night. I went, so that was just the 400, and then after that, I had the relay, where, it's really on me, I got a 400 closer to the anchor. And I went, and then I actually paced myself a little bit, where I was in maybe, I want to say 4th, 5th place, something like that. There was a few dudes in front of me. And right as I hit the curve at the 300, my coach came up to me and he goes, good job, man. You finished strong like that. When they don't even expect much from you.
Yeah.
Man, he lit the fire. I got to be thankful for that coach, because I was like, what? Excuse me?
See, isn't that something, though? One person could change it.
Oh, exactly.
One person. That's the power of the people that
I absolutely believe that he lit that fire, because I took first place in that race.
Yeah.
And as soon
let's go.
As soon as we turned that curve from the 300 into the final 100 down the stretch, I was zooming past people, and I got first place in that race. And I honestly can sit here and tell you, I think that was where the beginning of that fire in me, where don't ever underestimate me, man. Yeah, you look at me like that, just finish strong. You got it. And I'm in like 4th, 5th place. I was like, huh? Nah. So
that coach is going to watch this, and he's going to be like, oh, man, I did that?
Yeah, I've never given him a call, man. I might have to look into finding that guy.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's a cool story. So your track career was one and done. You won one season, and then you were done.
Well, 2 seasons, but the second season was already, different coach. My friends weren't in it, and I lost a little bit of the fun, and that's when I started. I don't know how much I really like running. So that's what it turned into. And then I used to skateboard a lot. That was kind of my passion on the side. And I've always been the type of guy that, like, anything I want to do, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a pro skateboarder. When I started track, I was like, oh, I'm going to take this pro. Like, I'm going to do something. So I've always been that, want to take things to the limit. But boxing, the very cliche stuff, man. As soon as I walked in the gym, started smelling the leather, the boxing bags, hearing the people hitting the bags. It was just instant, man. And it was in a garage, in Adam Archuleta's garage. Very small, humble beginnings and stuff in the sport, but it all got me started, man. I've never looked back, no regrets, man. I found my passion, and I realized that early on, so I've been locked in ever since.
Stay with us. More conversation on the other side.
We'll get back to the episode in a moment. Monica Wicki here, host of New Mexico Living. I wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Route 66 Casino and Caesars Sportsbook. If you love sports and like having a little action on the game, Caesars Sportsbook is your go-to destination. For rewards and more info, go to Route66Casino.com. Now back to the episode.
And so you find your passion, you get into the fight game. Did you find out later that maybe you had family members who used to fight? Was the passion passed down from somebody else, or is this new?
My dad's always been a huge boxing fan. Like, I think he almost named me Oscar after Oscar de la Hoya.
Oh, wow.
And so that was a possibility. And then, but I didn't like boxing as a kid. Like, we would go to fight parties every weekend. It was always, at a friend of the family's house. And I wouldn't, man. I'd be kicking it there either with the other kids or, like, by my mom or something. Yeah. Like, I was not into it. And then, oddly enough, a lot of people don't like his style, but, like, watching Klitschko fights, just seeing those big heavyweight knockouts, I know the fights were a little slow, but I was like, hey, man, this is kind of interesting. It just piqued my interest, and then little by little, I got more into it. And I started asking my dad and my mom, I was like, hey, like, I want to go try boxing. There's some kids at my school that are training, like I said, with Adam Archuleta. And I was like, I want to try. And they're like, no way, absolutely not. Like you? Wow. It was one of those things, and that's kind of the reason. Because I think it was at 13, 14 when I started asking, but it took me a year or two of begging, convincing, and I think it was after I got in a little street fight, and they're like, oh, like, if you're gonna be fighting and stuff, you really need to, like, kind of, get some hands and stuff, and then they finally let me try it, and my dad also, one of the reasons, like you said, the passion passed down. He was a boxing fan, but his dad didn't let him train. And they're like I said, my family's Cuban, so it was okay to get in street fights all the time. That's like the culture. Everybody fight it out in the streets, this and that. But for some reason, he wasn't allowed to box.
Right.
And that hurt him, as a kid. And then he would even sneak off sometimes in training. They would tell him he had talent and stuff, but as soon as his dad found out, that was cut. So he didn't want to do the same thing to me. So after enough begging and stuff, a little street fight here and there, he let me try it out, and then that's when, everything kind of, it's all, rest is history, as they say.
I'm sure now he's looking back on it going like, man, look at all this that happened after that.
Insane, man. Like the whole, my life changed. Whole different trajectory.
I watched your life change.
Yeah,
I was here for the ride, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Like I said, I've known you since the amateurs and everything. Definitely life-changing trajectory, because even nowadays, I actually did an interview recently, and they asked me, if you weren't boxing, what would you be doing? And I've thought about that for, hours and hours and countless times, but I don't know. Like, even when I went to UNM, I went for a couple semesters, and everything was revolved around boxing. Oh, I'm going to study nutrition so I can help me with my food and everything in boxing. Oh, I might minor in business or something so it could help me run my money. And then nothing, man. Honestly, like, everything, my true passion has been this, and everything else, like, it'd be cool, I could be good at certain things, but it was just always locked in with boxing. So, like, I have no idea, where I would be today without it.
Man, that's a story that you could tell, like, you know, like you'll be able to pass down because,
Absolutely.
you know, you go back to your dad and all that. Man, I'm looking at this piece you got, man. What's up with that?
A little bit, man. You know, a little, not to, like I said, you know, not to be that cliche, dude, but I bought myself a little car after the Fundora fight, you know, a little piece here and there.
Yeah,
but
you got to look the part, man. Hey, man, I'm a champion. I'm a champion, man. Like,
it's a little motivation, you know, just to like, all right, I'm gonna spend money, but I'm definitely a guy that knows like I'm gonna, not just that I'm gonna make more, but that I'm gonna find a way. You know, there's always I'm gonna make it happen. That's always been my mentality. It's not just, you got to be careful with the mentality that, oh, it's okay, there's more money coming, you know, because that's how these fighters end up broke.
Like with all of that success, and when you put it on a pedestal, are you getting used to that part where people just walking up to you? And, you know, even if it's a famous person, like, oh, Brian Mendoza, and you're going like, what? You know?
Yeah. No, that does happen a lot. And I think it's weird, you know, because I don't, like, when I meet, you know, famous either fighters or celebrities or something, like, I treat you like a human. And I feel like that's part of, like, how you can even get to that level, you know, because we're all human, man. Like, everybody bleeds. Right. Everybody, you know, we breathe the same air. Right. So never, like, you got to be careful putting people on a pedestal. And I even have some kids coming up in the gym that, you know, like they want to hang out with me all the time. They want to, like, how do you live? How do you, like, what do you study? You know, how do you, like, learn? Because they want to come up the same way. But I'm like, man, you like, I'm always here to, you know, to give like motivation or like tips or advice or anything like that. Always there, because I know I wanted that when I was coming up. But I'm like, man, I'm human, man. Like we're literally human. You know, I bleed. Like I said, we breathe the same air. Like, you know, it's like they say, put my pants on one leg at a time. It's the same thing, man. I feel like you have to go about life just treating it as such, man. We're all human, and we're all the same, bro. It's just about what you lock into. And when you see, you know, a famous actor or something, it's just someone that's their passion. They locked in on it. When you see an athlete, that's their passion. They locked in on that. So we're all the same, man. It's just try not to put people on too much of a pedestal.
That's Brian Mendoza, always keeping it real, man. That's
Yes,
one
sir.
thing, you know, since I've known you, man. Always keeping it real.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's Brian Mendoza. I guess we could say the champ is here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming, man.
Thank you, man. Pleasure having me, and thanks for always supporting, man, from day one.
All right. I'm Van Tate. Fernando Perez behind the controls. We'll see you next time.